The power of a woman living alone without haram relationships. In our time, people think a woman is only strong if she has someone beside her. They say, "Don't you get lonely? Don't you feel incomplete?" But the truth is this: a woman who can live alone without falling into haram relationships is not weak. She is one of the strongest people on earth, because she is not just resisting people's comments, she is resisting her own heart, and that takes courage that society rarely understands. When a woman chooses to live without haram relationships, the first thing people assume is that her life must feel empty. They imagine her nights are cold, her days are quiet, and her heart is starving for attention. But in Islam, that same space people call empty is actually one of the most powerful gifts from Allah. Because Allah does not leave His servants alone. Every moment she feels the weight of loneliness, she has two choices: to run toward temporary comfort that people offer, or to run toward eternal comfort that only Allah can give. And when she chooses Allah, her loneliness becomes her strength. Think about this. When the world is asleep and she sits in sujood, whispering her pain to the one who never rejects a dua, that is not emptiness. That is intimacy with her Lord. Angels are writing it down, the doors of mercy are opening, and the tears she sheds in private are more valuable than gold. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us that Allah is with the broken-hearted and those who remember Him. So when she sits in silence, when her phone doesn't ring, when no one texts her good night, she still has something far greater. Allah saying, "Remember me, and I will remember you." Quran 2:152. This means her heart is not abandoned. Her heart is being guarded. What others see as loneliness is actually protection from mistakes that could scar her forever. Let's be honest. Attention is easy to get. If she wanted, she could open a door that leads to haram and fill her evenings with texts, calls, or fake affection. But she knows that those things leave the soul emptier than before. Instead, she accepts the silence. She turns that silence into tasbih, into Quran recitation, into dua that travels directly to the heavens. And here's the secret. When a woman spends her lonely nights remembering Allah, she is never truly lonely. The angels surround her. The mercy of Allah descends on her. Her heart is filled with a sweetness that no relationship, no gift, no human attention could ever replace. So when people look at her and whisper, "Poor girl, she's all alone," they don't realize that she is not all alone. She is actually in the company of the most powerful, the most loving, the most merciful. And one day, when Allah writes her story, when her patience is rewarded with a halal love full of barakah, she will look back and realize those lonely years were not wasted. They were years Allah was building her faith, polishing her soul, and filling her heart with Him, so she could love the right person the right way at the right time. Her loneliness was never empty. It was filled with Allah all along. When a woman decides to live alone without falling into haram relationships, she often faces whispers, sometimes from people, and sometimes from her own heart. People may say, "She is too quiet," or "Why doesn't she talk more? Why doesn't she share everything about her life?" But what they don't understand is that her silence is not weakness. It is her greatest protection. Her silence means she chooses not to waste words on people who do not respect her. Her silence means she does not answer every question about her personal life. Her silence means she is not giving strangers access to her emotions, her secrets, or her heart. And this silence is powerful because it protects her dignity. Rasulullah ﷺ said that whoever believes in Allah and the last day should speak what is good or remain silent. This hadith is not just a rule, it's a shield. For a woman living alone, silence becomes her shield against gossip, against useless talk, and against people who want to pull her into sin. Think about it. In today's world, people compete to be the loudest. Everyone wants to be seen, to be heard, to share every detail of their life online. But the woman who chooses silence, who guards her tongue, and who doesn't expose her private life to the world, she shines in a way they can never match. Her silence is not emptiness. It is full of wisdom, full of patience, and full of strength. It says, I don't need your approval. I don't need your attention. I already have the honor that Allah gave me. Every time she holds back from replying to someone's insult, every time she chooses not to argue, every time she avoids useless conversations with men who don't fear Allah, she is not losing anything. She is building her dignity higher and higher. And here's the secret. Every time she remains silent for the sake of Allah, it is written down as worship. On the day of judgment, she will see that her quiet moments became mountains of reward. The silence she kept today will be the light that guides her tomorrow. Her silence doesn't mean she is weak. It means she is strong enough to let Allah defend her. Her silence doesn't mean she is alone. It means she trusts that Allah hears what others don't, and Allah will protect what others try to harm. So remember, her silence is not a prison. It is her fortress. It protects her dignity, her peace, and her relationship with Allah. A woman who lives alone without haram relationships might not have a man by her side to protect her, but she walks with something far more powerful: her modesty. Her modesty is not just the clothes she wears. It's the way she lowers her gaze when she walks outside. It's the way she speaks with dignity, without crossing boundaries. It's the way she protects her heart from being played with. This modesty becomes her crown, shining, priceless, and honored by Allah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Every religion has a distinct characteristic, and the distinct characteristic of Islam is modesty haya." This means that modesty is not something small or optional. It is the very identity of a believer. And when a woman holds on to her haya, especially while living alone, she is holding on to the very core of her faith. The world today tries to convince women that modesty is weakness, that showing everything brings power. But the truth is the opposite. A woman who shows everything is giving pieces of herself away to strangers. A woman who guards her haya is guarding her soul, her honor, and her future. Her modesty says, I belong to Allah. My worth is not for sale. My beauty is not for display. My dignity is not up for negotiation. When she steps outside with her modesty, angels walk beside her. When she resists haram invitations, Allah raises her status. When she refuses to be part of fitna, Allah places light in her face and peace in her heart. Even if she feels lonely sometimes, her modesty becomes a constant companion. It whispers to her, you are not alone. You are protecting something sacred. You are wearing the crown that Allah loves. And here's the most beautiful part. Every moment of her modesty is recorded by Allah as ibadah. Each time she lowers her gaze, each time she refuses to respond to attention from men, each time she dresses with dignity, even when nobody is watching, Allah writes it as worship. On the day of judgment, when people will come empty-handed, she will come with treasures, treasures of haya, treasures of patience, treasures of resisting temptation, and her modesty will be shining on her like a crown in front of the whole creation. So yes, her modesty is not just clothing, it's not just silence, it's not just avoiding haram, it is her crown. And every queen who wears her crown with sincerity will be honored by Allah in this world and in the next. When a woman chooses to live alone without haram relationships, her home may look quiet from the outside, but on the inside, it can be a place filled with light. Her home becomes more than just four walls. It becomes her masjid, her sanctuary, and her safe space with Allah. Think about it. While others may fill their homes with music, parties, and endless distractions, she fills her space with Quran recitation, dua, and salah. When she closes her door at night, she is not closing herself off from the world. She is opening herself to the company of Allah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Do not turn your houses into graves." Verily, Shaitan flees from a house in which Surat al-Baqarah is recited. This means that when she recites Quran in her home, she is pushing away every darkness and every whisper of Shaitan. Even if she feels physically alone, she is never spiritually alone, because angels fill the space where Allah is remembered. Her living room becomes a place of sajda. Her kitchen becomes a place of dhikr. Her bedroom becomes a place of whispered du'as in the middle of the night. And slowly, her home transforms. The air inside feels lighter. The walls hold her secrets with Allah. The floors witness her prayers. Even the silence begins to carry a sweetness, because it is filled with remembrance of her Lord. Living alone, she doesn't wait for a husband to lead her in prayer. She doesn't wait for someone else to remind her of Allah. She becomes her own reminder. She becomes the one who fills her house with Quran, who sets the rhythm of her life with Salah, who invites angels into her space. And here's the beauty: when she turns her house into a place of worship, Allah turns her house into a fortress of protection. Harm may knock at her door, but it cannot enter. Shaitan may try to distract her, but he cannot settle where Allah's name is remembered. On the day of judgment, when people are asked what they did in their private lives, her home will testify. The walls will speak. She remembered you here, Ya Allah. She cried to you here. She prayed here. She recited Quran here. So her home, though simple, though quiet, though without the noise of crowds, becomes more honored than palaces because it carries the light of worship. Her home is not empty, it is alive with the mercy of Allah. Living alone without haram relationships is not always easy. There are nights when she feels the weight of silence. There are days when she sees others surrounded by families, friends, or relationships, while she sits with only herself. The whispers may come. Are you really strong? Are you really happy? Maybe you're missing out. But what the world sees as loneliness is actually patience. And patience is not a small thing. Patience is one of the keys to Allah's mercy. Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, Allah is with the patient." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:153. This means that while she is sitting alone, holding back from haram, protecting her heart, and waiting for something pure, Allah is not distant. He is with her. He is watching her sacrifice, and His mercy is pouring down on her even when she doesn't realize it. Every moment, she feels the desire to fall into temptation, but chooses to resist. It is written as worship. Every time she sees others post about their relationships online, but stays away from what is displeasing to Allah, it is recorded as a victory. Every tear she cries when the loneliness feels heavy, it does not go unnoticed by Allah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "No fatigue, nor disease, nor sorrow, nor sadness, nor hurt, nor distress befalls a Muslim, even if it were the prick he receives from a thorn, but that Allah expiates some of his sins for that." So what about the woman who holds back her heart, who carries the weight of patience every single day? Her reward is far greater. Her patience is not wasted. It is building her jannah. It is polishing her heart. It is making her stronger than she even realizes. Because patience is not about sitting quietly. It is about carrying pain with dignity and refusing to let go of Allah. The world may praise women who move on quickly, who jump from one relationship to another, chasing comfort in the arms of people. But the woman who waits, who endures, who refuses haram and chooses to trust Allah instead, she is the one wrapped in His mercy. Her patience might be silent today, but it is powerful tomorrow. On the day of judgment, when rewards are handed out, she will see that every tear she cried alone turned into rivers in paradise. Every moment of her patience became a jewel in her crown. So yes, her patience is not a burden, it is a bridge. a bridge that carries her from the heaviness of this world to the endless mercy of Allah in the next. A woman who lives alone without haram relationships may feel unseen by people, but she is never unseen by Allah. Her tears in the night, her whispers into the darkness, her silent prayers when no one is watching, they are not small, they are powerful. When she raises her hands and says, "Ya Allah, help me, protect me, grant me strength, grant me halal love in the right time," her words travel straight to the skies. The angels write them down, the doors of the heavens open, and Allah, in His infinite mercy, listens. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "The dua of a Muslim is never wasted. It will either be answered immediately, stored for him in the hereafter, or a calamity will be removed from him because of it." That means her duas are never lost. Even if she doesn't see the answer today, those duas are alive, moving, working, and waiting for the perfect time. Living alone, her dua becomes her companion. While others spend their nights scrolling on their phones, she spends hers raising her hands. While others complain to people, she complains only to Allah. While others look for comfort in haram, she finds her comfort in dua. And here's the miracle. Dua is not just asking, it is a weapon, it is protection, and it is intimacy with Allah. When she makes dua, she is not just speaking, she is building her future. Every time she asks Allah for protection, she is shielded from dangers she doesn't even see. Every time she asks for guidance, Allah removes hidden traps from her path. Every time she asks for halal love, Allah prepares something better than she imagined. Even her smallest dua like, "Ya Allah, make me strong today," or "Ya Allah, don't let me fall into sin," can change her entire destiny. Because dua is more powerful than people realize. Dua can delay death, dua can remove calamities, dua can open doors that were locked, and dua can bring her blessings she never dreamed of. She may feel weak sometimes, but every time she makes dua, she is shaking the heavens with her voice. She may feel alone sometimes, but every dua is proof that she is deeply connected to the Lord of the worlds. So her dua is not small. Her dua is her strength. Her dua is her comfort. And her dua is the rope that keeps her tied firmly to Allah, no matter how heavy life feels. The world often looks at a woman living alone and says, "She must be sad. She must be missing something. She must be incomplete." But what people fail to see is that her so-called loneliness is actually planting seeds of light for her future, both in this world and in the next. Every time she sits alone remembering Allah, that moment becomes a lamp in her grave. Every time she holds back her desires and refuses haram, that restraint becomes a shield on the day of judgment. Every night she spends in quiet patience, every tear she wipes away, every heavy sigh she releases in prayer, all of it is being recorded, all of it is being saved, and all of it will return to her as light. Allah says in the Quran, "So be patient. Indeed, the promise of Allah is truth." Surah Ar-Rum 30:60. This promise means her patience, her silence, her sacrifices, they are not wasted. They are investments. She is depositing moments of hardship today that will return as treasures tomorrow. On the day when people will be drowning in their sins, her record of resisting haram will shine like a lantern in her hand. On the day when people will regret wasting their youth in unlawful desires, she will walk with dignity because she spent her youth guarding herself for Allah. Even in this life, her light shows, the peace on her face, the calm in her heart, the dignity in her walk. These are signs of Allah's nur. People may not understand where it comes from, but she knows. It comes from living clean, living pure, and living close to Allah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Whoever leaves something for the sake of Allah, Allah will replace it with something better." This is her story. She left haram for Allah, and Allah is preparing something better. Maybe it's a righteous husband in the future. Maybe it's endless reward in Jannah. Maybe it's both, but it will always be better. So yes, her loneliness today is not darkness. It is the path to light. It is the quiet road that leads to eternal companionship in Jannah, where she will never feel lonely again. In this world, she may sit in a small room with only her Quran, her prayer mat, and her tears. But in the next world, she will sit in gardens beneath which rivers flow, surrounded by angels, honored by Allah Himself. Her loneliness today is her crown tomorrow. Her silence today is her shield tomorrow. Her patience today is her light tomorrow. And when she finally enters Jannah, she will realize she was never truly alone. Allah was with her all along. My dear sister, if you are living alone right now without a haram relationship, do not let anyone convince you that you are behind. Do not let society's shallow standards shake your heart. Your life is not measured by how many proposals come your way, or how many people text you at night, or how many likes you get on a photo. Your worth is measured by how much you guard your faith, how much you protect your dignity, and how much you trust Allah with your story. This waiting season you are in, it is not a pause in your life. It is part of your life. It is not wasted time. It is time that Allah is using to polish your heart, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare you for what is better. Every day you choose patience over desperation. Every day you resist the whispers of shaitan telling you, just lower your standards, just try haram for once. You are proving your strength. You are showing that your love for Allah is greater than your hunger for quick comfort. And that is what makes you powerful. Because anyone can give in to desires, but only the strong can wait. Anyone can run into the arms of the wrong person, but only the wise stay in the arms of Allah until the right person comes. Remember the women Allah honored in the Quran. Maryam, alayha salam, lived her life with dignity, without ever chasing validation, and Allah raised her name higher than any woman. Khadija, radiallahu anha, waited for the right man and then supported the greatest man to walk this earth, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These women were not honored because of haram relationships or because society approved of them. They were honored because they lived with faith, patience, and dignity. So when you feel the sting of loneliness, remind yourself, you are not empty, you are not forgotten. You are under Allah's protection. Better to sit at your table alone than to share it with someone who disrespects your worth. Better to cry on your prayer mat in front of Allah than to cry later in regret because of a haram choice. Yes, the path of patience is heavy. Yes, the silence can ache. But in that ache, there is a shield. In that waiting, there is worship. In that silence, there is strength. And on the day of judgment, when you stand before Allah, you will see that every lonely night, every ignored proposal, every tear you shed quietly, all of it was written down, all of it was multiplied in reward, and all of it lifted you higher. So, hold on, my sister. Your story is not late. Your dua has not been ignored. Your worth has not been reduced. Allah is writing for you a plan far greater than what this dunya offers. And when it comes, it will come with dignity, with barakah, and with peace. Until then, walk with your head high, because you are never truly alone. Allah is with you, closer than your jugular vein, listening to every sigh, catching every tear, strengthening every step. Your loneliness today is not your weakness. It is your crown. It is your shield. It is your bridge to Jannah. And one day, when Allah replaces your patience with His promise, you will look back and say, every not yet was worth it. May Allah grant you patience, dignity, and strength. May He protect your heart from every haram path, and may He bless you with a halal love that brings peace in this world and endless joy in the next. Ameen.